Good morning, world. How's everybody out there in YouTube land today, huh? How is everybody doing? I know I did not have a good night's sleep last night. Nope, not at all. Not after the harrowing experience we had last night. We, the dog's all huffy apparently this morning. Hey, Gene, how you doing this morning, ma'am? Lily, did you want to go outside? Is that what you wanted? Miss Lily got all excited about me shutting off my laptop. I think she thought I was going to go running up on deck, and so, well, go on. She wanted to go up on deck, so there she goes. Oh, hey, Palm Limit, what's up, man? Hey, Michael. Hey, Mama Street, how you doing this morning? So, yeah, kind of an exciting night last night. Had a Yahoo run over my anchor line. Now, guys, I have a 7-to-1 scope out on my anchor, and wind was blowing about 6 to 8 knots last night, so my anchor line was tight. It was tight from the anchor all the way to my bow. Good morning. Where's the eggs and bacon? Yeah, right. Miss Yesterday's been 15-hour driving back from the Outer Banks. Oh, cool, Gene. Did you catch any fish while you were out there on the Outer Banks? That's a good fishing spot. So, anyhow, had a bit of a rough night. This guy ran over my anchor line and got it all tied up. A power boat, not even a sailboat. I mean, I could understand almost a sailboat because, you know, you got a deep keel sticking down. This guy had a power boat. He tried to go in front of my boat so close. And you know, my anchor line's like this down in the water going from the anchor to the bow. He came so close that his propellers caught my anchor line. When I heard them catch, and if you watch the live stream at about 55 minutes in, you'll see the boat take the whack. I go up on deck and the guy's he's literally holding on to my boat. I mean, arm's length. His boat was so close, he was arm's length. Yes, he was drunk, Mama Street. Yes, he was. Not only was he drunk, the guy had been anchored over here about 100 yards to the side of me for the day. And he told me he had his autopilot on. Why would you have an autopilot while you're still in the anchorage? I mean, you don't put an autopilot on until you get outside of the anchorage and start heading out the bay. Then you hit an autopilot. You don't turn on an autopilot while you're all around all the other boats. That just didn't make any sense. Anyhow, I went for my morning swim this morning. I got up around the bow, took a really close look at my bow. Apparently, I didn't see it last night when I stuck my head over the side. Didn't have the right angle. But there's a gouge about that long through my gel coat where there's just a tear in the gel coat about 1.5 inches long or so up in my bow. So, in retrospect of that, the amount of money they gave me really won't even cover the damages. If I were to hire someone to fix that for me. I mean, I'm going to have to do it myself, but only caught some small stuff. No keepers. My brother and I were only fishing from the shore. You were fishing from the shore, but you were in the Outer Banks, huh? Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Gene. But anyhow, yeah, so... And then, of course, you know, you get all these idiots that coming on my channel trying to tell me how I ripped the guy off and, like, I'm at fault. I'm sitting down here doing a live stream and the guy hits my boat. How am I at fault? But haters are going to hate no matter what you say or do. They're going to want to find fault with everything that I did. He's just unbelievable. So... But anyhow, I did not sleep very well last night. I was up till well past midnight. Every time a boat went by, I was sticking my head out the window trying to make sure. And sure enough, another boat did pass very closely across my bow. These people with their power boats just don't seem to understand that you're on anchor and you've got a lot of line out in front of you. So, hopefully gave you at least $300 to $500 cash. Kelly Banks, he ended up giving me $430. His wife said it was $450, but it turned out to be $430. I'm not going to argue the fact. I didn't ask him for that specific amount of money. To sum it up in a nutshell, when I went forward, he wanted to cut my anchor line. I said, man, that's the only anchor I have. I said, I've ordered a new anchor, but I don't have it yet. That's the only anchor I have. If you cut my anchor line, I'm going to have to drop back and pick up a mooring ball, and then I got to pay for a mooring ball. His wife asked me, well, how much was your new anchor? And I said, well, I just spent $360 or whatever it was for my anchor. I said, but I don't have it yet. In fact, it's in Doug's trunk of his car right now. And so she said, well, can we buy your anchor for you? And since they were cutting loose my old one. And I was like, well, yeah, I guess if that's what you want to do. But I never asked them for the money. She offered. Now, the fact is, he was drunk. They ran into my boat. They did damage to my gel coat, and they did eventually cut my anchor line. Had I called the Bay Constables, they would have been in a shitstorm. They would have been in a lot of trouble. I would be surprised if the guy wasn't arrested for operating a motor vehicle while intoxicated, because he was pretty shit-faced. In fact, even after, and this was really funny, even after he cut my anchor line, he was trying to argue somewhat that I was on a mooring ball. I'm like, no, I'm not on a mooring ball. You just cut my anchor line. That's an anchor line, not a mooring line. If there was a mooring line, there'd be a mooring ball floating around right here. There wasn't any mooring ball. I don't know. Just, yeah, he paid you for his stupidity. Pretty much, Mama Sri, yep. Damage to your boat. No, Carolyn, I haven't done that yet. I have to actually swim around over and get in the water to get the picture of it. I did not have my my little camera with me this morning, my watertight camera, so I did not take a picture of it. It's just a small gouge about that big. I actually have a gel coat. I actually bought the other day. Maybe it was anticipated, but I actually bought a gel coat repair kit the other day over at West Marine, and so apparently now I've got a good use for it. So I already own what I need to fix that. Hey Carl, Muppets get everywhere, I guess. Yeah, so. And of course, the thing that I'm angriest about with all of this is I'm angry at myself, because I should have grabbed a camera when I went up on deck and recorded all this. You can hear the audio because I was in the middle of doing a live stream. So in the live stream, you can hear the audio, but people are only hearing parts of the conversation, and they're jumping to all kinds of conclusions. Well, you did this and you said that, and it's just not the case. They didn't hear the whole conversation. They weren't up on deck. Now, I will say this. I yelled at Miss Lily a lot last night during this event, and a lot of people got all upset about that. What people failed to remember is I just took my push pit down yesterday, which means my lifelines are down. I don't even have lifelines up on the side of the boat right now because my push pit's down, so we can weld it and get it repaired. So Miss Lily is running back and forth up on the deck, and I'm afraid she's going to fall in. The drunk guy is literally tied to my boat because he's wrapped around my anchor line. His boat and my boat were only inches apart, and the last thing I wanted was for my dog to fall in between the two boats and get crushed by them when they were hitting into each other. The two boats did bang against each other a couple of times, so I think Lily needs her nails clipped. Yeah, I do clip her nails, and that's the problem, Carolyn. You know, a typical dog, when she starts losing traction, she digs her nails in. Well, the more she digs her nails in, the more she loses traction on the deck. So I yelled at her trying to get her to come down below, and she did come down below, and she came right back out. So I yelled at her again. She came back down, she went right back out. So she got yelled at quite a bit, and yeah, I was a little hot, and I was a little pissed off. I mean, imagine somebody driving a car into your house. That's the equivalent of what happened to me last night. A guy drove a boat into my house. So if you don't get excited and agitated and I was stressed. So yeah, the dog got yelled at. If people have a problem with that, well, too bad. Snowflakes can go watch something else. I'm not going to hear it. I was more concerned with the dog's safety than anything else. That's why I was yelling at her to try to get her to get down below. So let me go back to see what I missed in the chat here. Hey Billy, how you doing, man? True. I'm not defending the drunk, but did you have any anchor lights or any time? It was daylight still, Steve. It wasn't dark. It wasn't dark when that happened. It was still daylight. So you're lucky you didn't hit you. Just to maneuver around to get out of the bay. It's not like I'm the last boat going out. So To have an autopilot on while you're still in a mooring field is just stupid. I mean, well, I guess drunk is as drunk does, you know, so pretty wild. And then, of course, then what really pissed me off is all the trolls last night getting on here trying to make it sound like it was my fault and stuff. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Yeah, autopilot doesn't make any sense at all, yeah. And Steve, there was no reason for me to have lights on at that time. It was still daylight. I don't need to have any kind of anchor light on. And I do have a light that I put on the boat at night while I'm here at anchor. I have a light that's visible 360 degrees around the boat. Coast Guard says it's perfect, it works just fine, and it meets the requirements. So I don't know what everyone's problems are about. Yes, my mast light is working, but I have another light that I hang on the boat that works just fine and meets the requirements. So people need to get over themselves, man. I mean, all these snowflakes that just, they just want to, they just want to blame somebody for something. It's just, hey, the guy hit me, It just pissed me off last night. Okay, I missed that. I was out on town last night and missed last night's chat. Yep. I just yelled at my dog. There you go, Billy. Well, I don't yell at Miss Lily for anything unless it's necessary. And when I am concerned about her safety, yes, I yell at her quite a bit. I want to get her attention and get her someplace safe. In the meantime, I was dealing with this idiot out on the bow and trying to keep our two boats from bashing against each other. So I was kind of occupied trying to hold the boats apart. So, yeah, Billy, I know what you mean. So I had a fairly harrowing night last night. Now, as it turns out, after he cut my anchor line, and I had already started my engine and was ready, prepared to try to move away from him. I didn't want him cutting my anchor line until I got my engine started, in case my engine didn't start. I didn't want to be just floating out in the bay. And just another character boat scratch. Yeah, pretty much, Palm Limit. Pretty much. But anyhow, after he cut the line, his wife turned to me and she said, "Oh, your anchor line is floating." Well, it's brand new anchor line. I mean, it's like a week old. And so it is buoyant, even though I wouldn't expect it to be. It was apparently buoyant. I guess I have this sort of stupidity to come. Yeah, if you're on a boat, you're going to run into this kind of stuff. Anyhow, so she pointed out to me that the anchor line was floating. I said, okay, I'm gonna try to go back and pick it up and see if I can grab my anchor. Now with that, I really expected them to turn their boat around or hang out there while I was doing that to see if I caught my anchor, because if I had, then obviously they paid me way too much money, because now the only damage to me is my anchor line. So I was busy, pulling my boat around, hooking the anchor line. I grabbed the anchor line, keep in mind 6 to 8 knots of wind, so I'm having to pull on the anchor and literally pull my boat up to my anchor a little bit. I had to shorten the line, obviously, a little bit, because where they cut it was about 3 feet off my bow. But then where the line was caught by his propellers, it had done some damage to the line. So I had to shorten up my line a little bit. But I did manage to pull my boat around by hand, get it secured and on the cleat. And I'm still on my anchor right now, as a matter of fact. So while I'm doing all of this, I'm assuming this guy is hanging out there or somewhere close by. But I finally, got the boat pulled up. I got it secured. I went ahead and got a wrap on my cleat. And as soon as I got that, then I looked up, and the guy is way out, heading out of the bay. I mean, he was like almost out into the sound already. So he must have cut the line, and while I was dicking around trying to catch the line and get the anchor back in, which his wife saw, she knew what I was doing, they just took off. So I never did have an opportunity to get their name or their contact information, which is why I made the second video saying, hey, if anybody knows this guy, have him get in contact with me, because the guy ended up paying me $430. Now, I didn't give him a specific amount that I said I needed to have, but his wife did ask how much I paid for my new anchor, and I did tell him that. So she gave me $430. She said it was $450. It ended up being $430. I didn't count it at the time. I just took the money and stuffed it in my pocket because I was kind of busy trying to keep the boats from breaking. But what a crazy thing to have happen, and not unique. Rick Moore actually has a video out where he was in the British Virgin Islands, and one of these what we call credit card captains. These are people that have money, can afford to charter a boat, but have no idea what they're doing. There was a guy in the BVI that chartered a monohull and came flying into an anchorage where there was a bunch of boats around, and tangled his boat up with a whole bunch of others, damaging not one, not two, but I think 3 different boats that he hit during that. So you get these people that can go out and buy a power boat. In this case, it was a pretty nice, 30 plus foot power boat. And, the guy was absolutely clueless on how to run the thing. And, I mean, when you see somebody on anchor or somebody on a mooring ball, you never pass right close to their bow because you know that anchor line is going all the way down to the bottom of the water someplace down in front of them. Or even a mooring line, you're still going to be in the front. If you want to pass by a boat, you go around the back of the boat. Always go around the back of the boat. And even then you have to watch because some people have really long lines on their dinghies and have their dinghy floating way out in the water. So, rule of thumb, you just don't go near other boats. You stay as far away from other boats as you can, keep everything clear. So, this guy clearly, I mean, he must have been, for him to have picked up my anchor line, because I've got about a 7-to-1 scope out in front of my boat. I'm in about 14 feet of water. I've got 70, 80 feet of line out. My anchor line is about this angle coming off my bow. It's pretty obvious. 8, 9 knots of current. The line was taut. It's not like it was loose floating on the surface. Like right now, there's very little wind, so my anchor line may not be all that taut at the moment, but last night it was taut. He had to have been within 3 or 4 feet of my boat, I would think, or at least 10 feet of my boat to have hooked my anchor line. And that's just way, way too close to go by somebody, so. All right, what did I miss in the chat? Let me go back here. I guess I have sort of a stupidity come. Yep. Hey, Jared, how you doing? Just glad nothing worse happened. I mean, watching it live was crazy. Yep. Maybe they saw your YouTube decal on the window. Yeah. Yeah, well, some YouTuber, huh? I didn't even bring a camera up on deck with me. I really wish I had. That would have been a smart thing for me to do. At least I could have documented stuff. And maybe in the film I would have had, the name of their boat or something, so I could have contacted them somehow. But oh well, it is what it is. So I have to go out and spend $70, $80 to buy a new anchor line. They cut my anchor line, like I said, I had 70, 80 feet of line out, and it's 150 feet of line. So I mean, they literally cut my anchor line in half, right about at the midway point. Meaning now I have 2 75-foot anchor lines, which are just way too short. So. Now, Sealy Shannon, one of my viewers, he is disassembling a boat up in Alaska. He says he's got 185 of good line, and he's going to send that to me. So that's cool. So coming down from Alaska is some anchor line. Sort of funny, he was telling me where the boat is that he's disassembling. It's a boat I've driven by many, many times when I lived up in Alaska. I know exactly the boat he was talking about. I saw it there over the years, and I was just, thinking to myself, boy, what a shame that boat's just sitting there rotting and no one's taking care of it. Well, apparently it was Sealy Shannon's boat, so small world, He had to be less than a boat length. Was the best live stream from our point of view. Well, I'm glad all that drama made it a good live stream for you. It was not a good live stream for me. So, in retrospect, definitely should have brought your camera for another reason. Could have made a great YouTube video. Yeah, I know, ma'am. I know. Yeah, I know, Kelly. I really should have brought, I just was, well, frankly scared, to be honest with you, I mean, I was literally sitting in, I was doing this. I was sitting right here in my boat doing a live stream just like I am now, and all of a sudden I felt my boat rock, and then I heard the big bang just as I was going up the companionway. And so, yeah, I was a little anxious and afraid at the time, and just wanting to go up on deck and try to stop whatever was happening. So, comments last night voted it number one. Comments where? Nobody has commented that for me yet so far, but I mean, it's gotten a lot of comments, and not all of them good. In fact, quite a few of them were people trying to tell me that I ripped the guy off. I don't know how the hell anybody gets that in the live chat. Oh, in the live chat, okay. Well, yeah, I've not seen the live chat. Yeah, I don't know how people get that this was somehow my fault and that I ripped this guy off. How the hell do you get that out of that video or what they saw in the live stream or anywhere in reality? I don't have a clue. I mean, I didn't hit him. He hit me. So, and then, of course, some bozo gets on here and says, oh, well, you kind of scoffed at the idea of having insurance. Maybe, this and that and this could have happened. And I'm like, yeah, any number of things could have happened. I like to deal with reality, folks, not fear-mongering of, oh, my God, this is going to happen or that's going to happen. That's the kind of nonsense that insurance company used to make people buy insurance. So that guy got lucky. Yeah, Billy, he really did. Because, the more and more I think about it, I think I did ask them for their, information, and the wife immediately offered money instead. But in retrospect now, I think, if I had if I'd gotten on the VHF radio and did a security announcement that this guy just ran over my anchor line, the Bay Constable would have been over here in a heartbeat. I mean, we have, in Port Washington, Manhasset Bay, there is law enforcement out here in the anchorage. I have seen 3 different boats out here on the anchorage. There's the Harbor Master boat, there's the Bay Constable, and I've also seen the Nassau County Police boat out here. So there's 3 different boats cruising the bay. Not to mention, the guy that does pump out for the yacht clubs and the water taxi people and all that. If I had put out a security announcement that this guy ran over my anchor line, I am sure this guy would have been arrested for boating while intoxicated. I mean, he probably would have left his boat in handcuffs last night. So, now that I'm thinking about it, I understand why they wanted to slip me some cash and get the hell out of Dodge. I guess if I was in their situation, that's what I would have preferred doing, rather than getting arrested or having to deal with the insurance companies and lawyers and all that kind of crap that usually ends up being involved with all this stuff. So, we solved it. We resolved the issue like gentlemen, as far as I'm concerned, There wouldn't have been any service to anybody if the guy had gone to jail or, he learned his lesson, I assume. He certainly seemed to be rather apologetic last night and pretty sorry for what he did. And I'm sure his wife's giving him quite the earful this morning. Probably did last night, but he probably won't remember that. But I'll bet you this morning he's hearing about it. So I think he's paying for the crime. So why not? I could use the money. The amount of money they gave me is more than enough to cover my expenses and my difficulties and whatever. And so it's fair for them and fair for me, I guess. So I'm not going to worry about it. So haters will always say something. Yeah, they will, Akula. Really not your fault. You have it all on video. Yeah, it's not like I was driving the boat. I mean, I'm literally sitting down here having a live stream and I got hit. And then like Steve goes, well, did you have an anchor light on? Well, no, why would I have an anchor light on? It was daylight. I mean, it was daytime. It wasn't nighttime yet. I didn't need to have an anchor light out yet. So, but just like what Steve just said, I mean, that's the first thing everybody's going to, The first thing everybody seems to jump to the conclusion, well, what did Carl do wrong? He must have done something wrong. He's such an e-begging scoundrel. He must have done something wrong to cause that. Oh, hey, I'm just sitting here on anchor, man. I'm minding my own business, so trolls will be trolls. Anyhow, so today is going to be a fairly fun day. Let's move on to some better news. I'm waiting for Douglas to pick me up. He has to go to a chiropractor appointment this morning. He's going to pick me up around noon today. And we're going to go over to Doug's house and have a barbecue, which is going to be great. I'm going to take the pieces to my push pit over to Doug's house today. And I paid you more now that you found the Joko damage. Yeah, you're probably right, you know. Because, I mean, it's going to take me some time to fix the gel coat. And, of course, you know, I'm going to paint the boat anyway. There's other gel coat damage as well that was there before them. So, about, I don't know, 1.5 feet or 2 feet below where their mark is on my bow, there's another mark on the bow that was there when I bought the boat. So, I knew I had to do some gel coat repair up on the bow. That's why I bought the gel coat repair kit for the little spot that I had. Now, I have 2 spots. It's not... You know, I knew I was going to have to do some work up there. Maybe fly the Jolly Roger just for the trolls. Yeah, I probably should. You know, if I had one here, I would. I used to have a Jolly Roger. I don't have one right now, but yeah, if I had one, I would. So, hey, Aunt and Sid, how you guys doing, ma'am? Good to see you here. So, anyhow, yeah, lots of excitement. But Doug's going to pick me up. We're going to go barbecue. We're going to weld. Well, we're not going to weld today. We're going to... Lily, get out of that. Don't get into that. I had some old hot dog buns I put out on deck. I was going to tear them open and put them out there for the fishes. And Miss Lily's got their attention, or it's got her attention. I think she wants to open them up and eat them hot dog buns herself. You don't need those hot dog buns. Those are for the fishes. So anyhow, Doug's going to pick me up. I'm going to take the parts of the push pit over to Doug's house so we can weld on them. Yes, Lily's going with me. And so we're going to barbecue and have some fun this afternoon, which would be kind of nice. Doug's got a nice big backyard, and Lily likes to go over and play with Doug's dog. So that'll be fun. And then tomorrow I'm visiting with my sister and my nephews and stuff for the day. And yes, Lily will be going with me on that day as well. She'll be off the boat all day Sunday with me. She's going to pick me up fairly early on Sunday morning, I think around 10, 11 o'clock. And then I'm just going to spend the whole day with my sister and my nephews. So that'll be pretty cool. So we're not going to get any work done on the boat today or tomorrow at all. But then Monday I'll start getting back into my projects and starting to get stuff done. Tuesday we're going to do the actual welding, I guess. We have to pick up some gas mix and some wire for the wire feed. So Tuesday we're going to get the welding done and start getting stuff reassembled back on the boat. So Aunt and Sid said, good, thanks, sitting at anchor in Spain, Ria Aries, very hot and sunny. Well, be careful, man. So I had a power boat hook onto my anchor line last night. We had big excitements here. A guy ended up running over my anchor line, had to cut my anchor line and banged into my bow pretty good. So you guys be careful there in Spain, because I know there's drunken idiots on boats in Spain just like there is here in New York. So oh yeah, another thing, one of the viewers last night was asking to see the holes I cut in the boat. And at the time I didn't want to go up on deck and do that because, well, frankly, I was tired well, I mean, he cut my anchor line, so I lost the anchor line. Now I was able to recover the line. Fortunately, it was a brand new line, and so it still had a little flotation to it. So I was able to recover what they cut loose, and was able to retie my anchor back on. But they did damage my gel coat. They cut about 1.5 inch gouge on my bow and my gel coat. So I'm gonna have to fix that up there. But yeah, so they did a little bit of damage, but the amount of money they paid me was much more than what was necessary for the damage that was done. But I guess it'll compensate me for my time, effort, energy. Anyhow, I'm going to go up on deck because I want to make sure Miss Lily doesn't get into those hot dog buns. But I'm going to show you guys the holes I cut because people asked about that. So hold on a minute while I turn you around while I get up on the steps here. Hold on a second. There you is. Let me set you out here and I'll come up on deck. Come on, get back, 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 back. Get back, get back, get back, get back. Don't knock that over. Don't knock the camera over. You guys still there with? You still with me? All right. Sorry about that. I have to move a bunch of stuff to get to where the holes are. So anyhow, there's my holy boat. There's the 2 holes I cut in the boat. And what that did is that gave me access through here so I could unbolt where the push pit was mounted there. So there, that mount there, and then that mount that was right there, I had to cut those holes in the boat so I could access that. And now I have all my push pit parts laying here, as you can see. And so we're going to be taking those over to Doug's to have them welded, and then we'll have. Let me sit down. Beautiful out here. And then. Oh, okay. Hey, thanks. The donation, guys. Looks like a beautiful day up there. Yep. Yeah, 10 pounds. Well, thank you for you. I appreciate that, man. Beer for the barbecue. Awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate the contribution to Super Chat, man. That's very nice of you. Have you decided what you're going to do with the new holes you just cut? Yeah, I bought these cover plates. Let me see if I can grab one. They're... Yes, dog, get out of the way. There we go. There we go. Let me set you down here for a second, and I'll show you what I'm doing. I bought these cover plates to go over the holes. These are, they thread in. This is going to get permanently mounted onto the boat. And then this has got a seal on it, and this just threads in and seals up. So these access panels are going to go on those holes. This is what's going to cover up those holes, and so it'll be watertight because it you know, it threads in and seals. And I'm going to use sealant around the outside. So that's going to give me a nice clean watertight seal. So I won't have to worry about water leaking back in there. But the nice thing about it is it's going to give me access to those portions of the boat where I wouldn't otherwise be able to reach. So you should be able to glass a shelf in behind those holes and make use of the space. Put a circular something hatch, access hatch, huh? Yeah, I could. Okay, yeah, I guess I could do that. Should get additional storage. Yeah, actually, what I was thinking about doing, I don't know about actual storage at this point. I guess I could form some stuff. They actually make like little socks that attach to these things, so you could have like a little cloth sock in there where you could stick things like eyeglasses or what have you if you wanted to. I'm putting these in the boat just to give me access to those areas back there. Now, there is an access hatch that I really wanted to get, but they're, you know, instead of these, which were $11 a piece, the ones I wanted were $100 a piece, and they're actually little tackle boxes, fishing tackle boxes. So you cut the opening and then you mount the fishing tackle box in there, and then you could, you know, you can pull out the fishing tackle boxes and still have your access panel. So I was thinking about going with those, but you know, I would need 4 of them, and that'd be $400, and I'm just not going to put that kind of money into this boat. Not for that purpose. So I'm just going to put the access panels in there for now, and that'll give me the ability to be able to get in there and unbolt and bolt stuff and run wiring and run hoses and whatever stuff like that that I may need to do down the road. So it'll be a good solution for that. So anyhow, let me give you guys a quick look around. This is what Manhasset Bay looks like this morning. As you can see, there's some other boats out in front of me out towards the bay. So that guy that hit me yesterday, he had to work around them. That guy was actually anchored over this way, inside the bay, a little bit behind me, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, he pulled up his anchor and then just pulled over and ran over my bow. I mean, I'm sitting here looking around, sort of surprised by it. There was a couple other boats that anchored out here in front of me, off to this side of me, because he had to go around them, but I don't know. The guy was pretty stupid, so. I can't see that. Good. Should give additional storage, yeah. Sweet way to fix holes you had to make. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, Kelly. Just a nice... Hey, Danny, how you doing? Yeah, just it's just a nice, clean-looking installation. Once I get done with it, you know, you'll have these nice, clean plates over there. And when I get done painting the cockpit, the paint that I bought is a white Rust-Oleum white topside paint, and so it's going to be the same color as those panels. So when I get done getting ready to mount them, in fact, I've been kind of contemplating, before I mount these panels, is going ahead and painting that area, just so I get a nice clean paint job on that portion of it. But once I start painting that, then I'm going to pretty much have to start going ahead and painting everything, and some places aren't ready to be painted yet. So got to get the fiberglass work and the gel coat repairs and all that kind of stuff done first. Hi, dog. How are you this morning, huh? How are you, huh? You a good girl? You a good girl? Yeah, she is. So anyhow, kids, that's all I want to talk about this morning. Is we had a little drama last night. We got that handled. Today we're going to go barbecue. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. I'm a little leery about leaving my boat on anchor tonight or today while I'm gone. But, you know, it is what it is. I mean, you know, I'm not going to, I was thinking about dropping back and picking up a mooring ball, but then that's going to cost me, you know, I'm going to be gone all day today and tomorrow. That cost me $50 to do that. I'm just, you know, I got to trust that this was just an odd thing that happened. It isn't going to happen immediately again. So, in fact, I've had boats for a long time, and did anybody else on the boat see the guy hit you? You know, Gene, I don't know. Nobody has said anything to me about it, so I imagine they did, but they're probably just not saying anything. Hi, dog. So I don't know. I don't think there's anything else I can do about it, but I'm not going to fall back on a mooring ball. I'm going to leave my anchor out there. I've owned lots of boats. I've had boats in lots of anchorages. I've chartered in really active places. I've motored around, you know, Port Washington here before. You know, somebody running up on someone's anchor is a very rare occurrence. It's not like this happens every day some places. So, more apt to have someplace like the BVI or someplace where you have a lot of novice boaters chartering big boats that they're not accustomed to. More active areas, but I don't know. It's just an odd fluke thing. So I am a little nervous that my scope's a little short, but we're not supposed to have any kind of wind really next couple of days. Not much over about 10 or 12 knots. So this anchor's been holding in much better water than that, or much bigger wind than that. So it should be okay. So anyhow, kids, I'm going to go ahead and end this. Let me see if I missed anything in the chat. Oh, pink nose Lily. Yep, she's got a pink nose. So, yep, so I'm going to go ahead and call this a day. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a live stream this evening or not. I'm going to be over at Doug's at a barbecue. I don't know what time I'm going to get back. So I may not be doing a live stream this evening. So anyhow, we'll have more for you later, kids. Be good and be careful. We'll talk to you then. Bye.